ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपादं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं त्रोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Hari Om, salutations to all. We were doing the Mangalacharan. The first verse we will chant. प्रज्ञानां शुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकर व्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पुनरपि धिषणोत् भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नो मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजम् ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि. So the salutations is to that Supreme Brahman who appears as so many jivas, prajnanam shupratanahi, who pervades the whole creation, moving, non-moving, everything. Sthira charanikara vyapibhir vyapya lokan. And its pervasiveness is like the pervasiveness of the substratum. How the rope pervades the snake, meaning as the substratum it pervades, which also means it remains unaffected no matter what happens in the world. Nothing affects Brahman. In all other forms of pervasiveness, there is an effect. There is a it affects each other, like the iron ball and the fire will affect each other. The mud and the pot. So there is a transformation. Mud became the pot. Though it is still mud also there, but it has actually gone through one modification. But the rope never became the snake. The rope never modifies, nor evolves, nor produces, nothing. It remains rope as it is. In that way, there is no Srishti that has happened. Brahman alone is. But we are seeing the Srishti, so one says, then if this is the Adhyasa one has done superimposition, ki there is a Srishti, then the substratum is Brahman. So that Brahman, which pervades this entire superimposition as its substratum and remains unaffected. Now that very Brahman, which has become all these jivas, prajnanamshu pratanahi, so all these jivas. So now the states of the jiva are described. So bhuktva bhogan stavishtan, this is waking state. And that Brahman identified with that waking state is called Vishwa, the waker ego, Mr. So and so. Then Punarapi Dhishanodbhasitan Kamajanyan. Once again, meaning whatever impressions it has collected in the past, in the waking state, it will project all that in the dream state. Punarapi Dishanodbhasitan Kamajanyan. This is the description of the dream state. Identified with the dream state, that entity, that so Brahman is called as Tejas, the dreamer. Then Pitva Sarvan Visheshan Swapiti Madhura Bhung. Having, literally here, Pitva Sarvan, having drunk everything, meaning having absorbed everything in itself, sleeps peacefully, not aware of anything. That is the description of the deep sleep state. Maya Bhojayanna. And all this is happening by Maya. It is not really happening. That's the explanation there. So, three states we saw till now. In this, we have to also know that when it is said here, Dhishanodbhasitan Kamajanyan, in the waking and in the dream, in both the states, the play of these three is there: avidya, kama, and karma. The play of all the three states, play of all the three. This is the Hridaya Granthi we call avidya, kama, karma. Is there in the waking state? Is there in the dream state? In the waking state, how is it? When I don't know who am I identify with the BMI. I think I am the equipment. Then there's a sense of finitude, limitation. And one wants to get out of that, so one is seeking happiness in the world outside. One attaches raga and dvesha. One gets attached to things and people, situations. So raga, dvesha, kama will arise when there is raga. And one wants to run away from whatever one has dvesha towards. And to fulfill that kama, then one does karma. And karma will give karma phala. Karma phala will again generate a vasana. This cycle goes on. In the waking state, it is done with a certain karta bhav, and so it will become seed for further births. In the dream state, there is a karta bhav there, but it is not like this, the waking state. So there is, intellect is working there, so one feels I am doing, etc. But it is emptying the impressions which are collected. From reality standpoint, both are same. That's what Mandukya will say. Both are illusory. But in that, this waking state will produce the karmic effect, because karta bhav is very, very strong, and the buddhi has vivek shakti. So now, having said that, now bhuktva bhogan savishtan punarapi dhishanod bhasitan kamajanyan. Waking state, dream state. Now coming to the deep sleep state. Pitva sarvan visheshan swapiti madhura bhum. All types of distinctions are not there in this state. Sarvan visheshan. So the experiencer, experienced experience, that triputi is not there in this state. There is absence of everything. So one is feeling, one will not know in deep sleep, I am in deep sleep. It's interesting actually if we analyze deep sleep. If deep sleep state was not there, it is very difficult to prove Atma. And also if deep sleep state is not there, it is not, most of us will not know only that I am this Atma. Because deep sleep is that where one is experiencing, at least after one has woken up, that I slept like a log, I did not know anything, mind was dormant, intellect is dormant, body I am not aware of, still I am. So, who is that I? That's the inquiry one will do because of deep sleep state. But important question also here is actually who went to sleep? Somebody I went to sleep. In colloquial, I mean, in transactional usage, we will say that I went to sleep, I woke up, I had a dream, all that, no doubt. And nothing wrong in that as far as we know, it is vyavaharik. But interesting is, I am the witness who has gone through the three states. I mean, who is aware of the three states. It is that reflected consciousness that is going through these three states. The waker, the dreamer, the deep sleeper is Brahman identified with the BMI, assuming this identity going through. Sakshi is watching. Trishudhamasu yad bhogyam bhokta bhogascha yad bhavet. Whatever is there in the three states to experience, the experiencer and their contact experience, tebhyo vilakshana. This consciousness is different from all the three. It is Sakshi and it is pure consciousness alone. Chinmatroham sada shiva, always auspicious. So who went to sleep? Equipment went to sleep, technically. Who is hungry? Body is hungry, pranas are hungry. Who is sad? Mind is sad. Who is excited? Mind is excited. Who is awake? Body, mind, intellect is awake. But identified with that, I am saying I am going through all this. And that one has forgotten that I am the Sakshi, I am that consciousness, and that consciousness is Brahman. It's not inside one separately. It appears like that, Prajnanamshu Pratanehi. That is Brahman, it is infinite. So I, the infinite consciousness, have withdrawn as though Pitva Sarvan Visheshan. So equipment goes to sleep, the BMI, and equipment wakes up. We never go to sleep. Sakshi is never asleep. It is always present. It will never become absent. Even birth and death doesn't affect that actually. That consciousness is not affected by any of that. Birth and death. All the vikars are of the body. Birth and death belong to the body, not even to the jiva. Jiva is going ahead. So, when he says here, Pitva Sarvan Visheshan Swapiti Madhura Bhung, this jiva is temporarily in that state of dormancy, is going through sleep. That deep sleeper entity is called Prajna. Waking entity is Vishwa, dream entity is Taijasa, and deep sleep entity is Prajna. So Prajna is, one meaning is Prakarshena Agnya, supremely ignorant, because at that point in time one doesn't know anything. Because the BMI has become dormant. The Chitta is recording absence of everything. And that entity, that's why it's called Prajna, ignorant. But it is the closest also to Supreme Brahman. Closest meaning we are, if we say we are Brahman, the truth is that, but I now identified with the BMI. So then in that context, the Jiva is closest to Brahman. Because there is only veil of avidya. There is no mala, there is no vikshepa, because there is no mind. Only avarana is there, veil of ignorance. But because buddhi is not there, we can't do purushartha that time. That veil will continue. We can do that purushartha when one comes out in the waking state as though. And then contemplate. I am not this BMI, I am not the jiva, I am not the three bodies. Negate. Then who am I? Sachidananda Swarupaha. So that I can do in the waking state. In the deep sleep, can't do. So it is prajna, prakarshena agnya, ignorant, supremely ignorant, yet closest to Brahman, and one feels great sense of madhura bhum. So one is in bliss. Obviously, not the infinite bliss of consciousness, but like Gurudev would say, the child who is most mischievous has gone to sleep. His house is so peaceful. The moment that fellow wakes up, again he brings the whole house down. Same way. So Swapiti Madhura Bhung. Then he says, Mayaya Bhojayannaha. This whole thing of all the three states is by Maya. This Brahman, having become the Jiva, is experiencing all the three states, meaning they are not really there. That's what Mandukya will tell, and the Karikas will explain that it is just a projection which is there. It is not real. In fact, not only waking state, dream state, this whole Srishti, while we see in the waking state, all these 14 worlds and so many Brahmandas and all that is a projection. Mayaya Bhojayanna. And the Jiva, so many Jivas and all the Jivas going through so many things, all part of the projection only. Like the entire movie is a projection. So, Mayaya Bhojayannaha. Then he says, Maya Sankhya Turiyam. So, three, waking, dream, deep sleep. Then the fourth, Turiya means fourth. That Sankhya is also Maya. It is called fourth because of Maya. Otherwise, it is not fourth. So remember, Turiya is only a pointer. In connection to the three, it is called four. It is not a finite thing. See, some Sankhya is always finite. 1, 2, 3. So if you add 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, like that, if you add finite numbers, it will bring one another finite number. If you remove 10 minus 6, 4. So one can add something to the finite, one can remove something from the finite. Sankhya is that number. But that which is infinite, one can't add anything to it, one can't remove from it. That's why we say Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. That which is infinite, this whole thing has appeared from there, and from this infinite you remove that infinite, infinite alone remains. So it is not a Sankhya in that sense. Brahman is not a Sankhya, it is not some finite number. Still, why it is called Turiya, fourth, is Maya Sankhya. In relation to the three, it is called fourth. To tell us what? Now please remember, when it is said it is fourth, it is not like waking is one state of consciousness, dream is another state of consciousness, exclusive from waking. Though it has impressions of the waking which are projected, but it is different. Waking, dream, then deep sleep state of consciousness. So three states of consciousness. In this, there is no experience of waking and dream also. Like that, the Turiya is another state of consciousness. Now someone may think like that. Swamiji, Turiya is Samadhi Avastha. Turiya is not Samadhi Avastha. If the Samadhi, by Samadhi one means the experience of the mind when it has become completely absorbed and still and silent with full awareness in whatever the support is, Savikalpa or Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Turiya is not that. Turiya is the witness of that also. What one went through in deep sleep unconsciously, one is going through that consciously with much more alertness and all that in Samadhi Avastha. So, it is not a separate state of consciousness, but it is also to indicate fourth, in what sense? That the experience of these three are not in that, it doesn't affect that. Because it is the base of all the three. And to say that it is unaffected by all the three, different from all the three, the number 4 is used. Turiya. Akhandanand Maharaj here gives a very nice example where he says that, so right now you are wearing certain types of clothes. Now, when you go to office, so you will change the clothes, wear the office clothes. Then when you come back from the office and you want to go and play, let us say tennis, then you will wear the clothes for tennis. Now, three outfits you have changed. But the one who is wearing these three is the same. It is not a fourth person, it's not a fourth outfit. The same one person in the morning clothes, home clothes, office clothes, and the sports clothes. Person is one only. Each cloth is different from the other. Each place one is going is different from the other. Each experience one is having in these places is different from the other. But the person who is going through all this is one and the same. In that, of course, it's one person, individual. Here one is saying it is the Sakshi, it is the same in all the three. And yet it is beyond all the three. So if I remove all the clothes also, I can still be no clothes. Clothes depend on me, I don't depend on them. These three states, they come, they go, but I can be without them also. BMI, I can be without them also. Very nice example what Akhandaranji has given here. So then why is that fourth given there? That is in this context when we say it is Maya. Maya Sankhya Turiyam. It is within the realm of Maya that the three states exist, and to say that this is beyond the three, so there are no waker experience, there is no experience of the waker, the dreamer, the deep sleeper. Then what is the illuminer of all this is that? Maya Sankhya Turiyam. And so we should know that Turiya is there in all the three and beyond also. Maya Sankhya Turiyam. Now, one very interesting thing he has given here is the definition of what is Maya and what is Mithya, illusion. In this context, Maya, Mithya, we are meaning the same. What is illusion? Why is he saying Maya? Mayaya Bhojayanno, it said, this Jiva has become all this, the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Brahman has become waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and going through all the experiences as though he has become the Bhokta. Mayaya Bhojayanno. So what is that? It is an illusory entity. So what is that illusion? So very nicely he says here that adhishthana nishtha atyanta abhava pratiyogitvam is the definition of mithya. Achha, what does that mean? In the substratum, when there is a superimposed thing, that superimposed thing arises from that, stays in that, goes back into that. Then that superimposition is mithya. Substratum alone is real. So in that snake rope, the snake appears, stays, goes back. Then what appears is a mithya. Meaning what appears, stays, goes back, all that is mithya. In which it rises and into which only it goes back. That is called mithya. The waker, in the waker's mind only the dream appears and again into that only it goes back. So that's why he says here that the simpler way in which he explains it is Swabhava, Swa Abhava Adhikarane Bhasamanatvam Mithyatvam. In the substratum, it will become absent. It will appear also in that only, and it will remain in that only, and it will disappear also in that. So, in absence of itself, Swa Abhava, Adhikarane. Adhikarana is substratum. Bhasamanatvam. It only appears and it becomes absent in that substratum. So that appearance is mithya. It's a technical definition here. Simple point to understand is illusion is there because of the substratum appearing in a different way. And so what appears is illusory. The base in which it appears is real. The desert sand is real. The mirage appearing in the desert sand, which when that mirage disappears, again one will see it is only sand there. So that appearance of the substratum in a particular way and then disappearance of it in the same substratum. So that appearance is called illusory. It is not real. There is no real water there. It is only appearance. Why? Because when you see closely, gone. Where? Back into that. From where it came. One may argue कि Swamiji, we saw it in the mind, example limitation. Same way rope and snake also. We see everything in our mind. So then don't say कि there was no water there, it's all in the mind. So it came from the mind, went back into the mind. The point was to understand what is illusory. Whether you say that it is sand is the substratum there or the mind, it came from wherever it appeared, it went there only back. So that is called mithya. So in that same way, now what is the point here? All these three are appearing, waking, dream, deep sleep, of all the jivas, as though if we say Bahu Jivad, actually this is Eka Jivad only. This Brahman only become this Jiva and is projecting all this. So we should stick to that Eka Jivad. That all this is one projection happening. So Mayaya Bhojayanno means that it is appearing as all this. And so this Turiya Sankhya also is a part of that Maya only. But it is used to negate all the other three. Maya, Sankhya, Turiyam. It is used to negate that this is the fourth state which is different from the three. And so it doesn't have the finite experiences of the three. It doesn't have the avidya, it doesn't have karta bhokta bhav, it doesn't have raga and dvesha, it doesn't have karma asakti, karma phala asakti, vasana, bija, janma, mrityu, punarjanma, none of this. No laya, no just absorption of the mind, none of that. So Maya Sankhya Turiyam. Now Paramam Amritam. So in this we saw two interpretations are there, two way one will split. Paramam Ritam Ajam. That is one way to split this. It is supreme, Paramam Ritam. It is the truth. In this context, Ritam means truth. And Ajam is unborn. That is one way to split. So Param here means nothing exceeds it. It is Sarva Utkrishta. It is supreme. Paramam. So Param, sorry. Param. No, first interpretation, sorry. Paramam, Ritam and Ajam. First interpretation is Paramam. Then Ritam and Ajam. So Paramam is most exalted, supreme. Nothing is beyond that. Nothing surpasses it. That's why if you see in the mala, that 108 beads when we have, the Meru is symbol of Brahman. And we bow down, touch it to our both the eyes, to our heart, and then we hold the mala on the ring finger. and then we turn the beads. And when you come to the last bead, then we don't cross that Meru and go to the next one. We reverse the mala and again start, the last bead will become the first bead, again go back to the, again reverse the mala. Why? The idea is that nothing is greater than infinite consciousness. Nothing is greater than, in bhakti language, Bhagavan. Desha Kala Vastu Aparichhinna is supreme consciousness. It doesn't have any limitation. It is infinite consciousness. There is nothing beyond infinite. And so, Param means that. And that Param Brahma is me, is what Vedanta is saying. Right now, one is saying, I surrender to that. Brahma Yattan Natosmi. So, Paramam means Sarva Utkrishta, one meaning. Ritam is Satyam, that which is there in all the three periods of time. In this context, please remember Ritam means Satyam, existence, Sat, which remains in three periods of time. Otherwise, Ritam means the cosmic order. When we say even in Shanti Mantra, Ritam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami. Ritam is what is given in the scripture, what is the truth explained in the scripture. Satyam there means the truth I am convinced of and I am living. And Ritam also means the cosmic rhythm in the universe. That's why the word rhythm and Ritam sound similar. What is the cosmic rhythm in the whole universe? Selflessness, giving, universal values. That's the cosmic rhythm, dharma, which holds the entire universe together. So that is the general meaning of Ritam. Here Ritam and Satyam are same. In this context, when we are talking about Supreme Brahman, then Ritam here means Satyam, Sat, which is ever present, unchanging in three periods of time, is Sat, is real. And what is there in all three periods of time? Only consciousness. Everything else comes and goes. In the waking state, comes and goes, dream state comes and goes, deep sleep comes and goes. Apart from these three, there is nothing else. For this individual jiva, this is one projection happening where all this is also a part of this jiva's projection. It is all continuously changing. What remains changeless is Brahman, the witness of all this, and which remains even when all these are not there. Then the witnesshood also is not there. That is Satyam, that is Paramam. And Ajam is unborn. Anything that is born is finite, perishable, changing, it will end. So Ajam, Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Purano Nahanyate Hanyamane Sharire, Upanishad will say, Gita will say. So Ajaha, it is unborn. The supreme cause of the creation, the supreme ultimate cause of the creation has to be unborn only. It cannot be anything else. So if somebody says, when was God born? When was God born? Who created God? We want to ask this question. So when these questions are asked, one is thinking, okay, so there will be a cause of God. That question only is actually a wrong question. Because if you say God has a cause, that means God has become an effect. Effect is perishable. God is beyond cause and effect. Ultimate causeless cause. That's why in this country we revere Swayambhu so much. And everywhere we see, this is Swayambhu Lingam, that is Swayambhu Murti, this is Swayambhu Prakat ho gaya. Sometimes one feels, how, what is the authenticity? Is it real, not real? People have made it up. Honestly, it doesn't matter whether people have made it up or it is actually Prakat hua. One is Shraddha of people is there, no? I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that somebody has created it and then exploiting people and making money and commercializing it. I'm not justifying or supporting any of that. But when somebody says yes, Swayambhu hai and Shraddha of people is there and people are connecting to Bhagwan, so be it, say Swayambhu hai. Who wants to go into the historicity of it कि ये वैसे स्वयंभू एक्चुअली है कि किसी ने जस्ट लाके स्थापित कर दिया और बना दिया ऐसे ही. Doesn't matter. And second, it is anyway projection, number one, from Vedant standpoint. The whole Srishti is a projection. In that, if one part I am able to use to connect to that which is causeless, which will help me to end this projection, why not? The entire dream world is projection. In that, if the dream tiger helps me to wake up, very good. I wake up, yeah, woke up, understood, array, this whole thing was unreal. So Swayambhu we have revered. अब जिसको हिस्ट्री में जाना है वो जाओ कि भाई ये पहले कहाँ था, when did it appear. Sometimes it feels weird also to us and it may sometimes make us lose Shraddha, but we should not do that. Sometimes we make fun of it also, not to hurt anybody's sentiment. But if you see in our whole country, in so many places where the Shivlingas are there will be one common story. And what is that common story? Some cow will be going there and giving milk, dropping milk in one place. Then when they will go and unearth it, they will find one Shivlinga is there. So many places in our country you will find the same story they will tell. Now why somebody wants to go into array, what is this Swamiji, here also, there also, this also, everywhere same story. And one may even make some light comments and laugh. But the deeper point one should not miss out. What is the issue? Even if so many cows are going, it's a projection. No? Why can't so many cows go and keep giving milk in one place? In the different places, different cows are giving milk, and every place there's a Shivlinga that is appearing. Okay, part of projection only. Once we understand it's a projection, then what? No problem. But suppose one says, no, how can that be? Then you want to go into history of it, you go find out what is the purpose of that. But if one is able to connect to the bhav that there is a linga there, that Swayambhu linga it is, not human created, it will connect me to the cause. It will connect me to that infinite true nature of my own self. That I am that, not that stone. What is the state indicated by that Swayambhu? That it is the ultimate causeless cause of the universe. What a brilliant thought, huh? That is, causeless cause is there. Otherwise, everything has a beginning and end. This is unborn, unending. That which is Aja is Amrita also. So the second interpretation is Amritam Ajam. We'll come to that. That which is unborn is unending, birthless and deathless. Swamiji, this unreal also is birthless and deathless. Asat also is birthless and deathless. The son of a barren woman, never born, so will never die. Why? Doesn't exist only. So Brahman does not exist. Brahman is equal to unborn, undying. Unreal or non-existent also is equal to unborn, undying. Hence Brahman is equal to non-existent. The difference is what? In that which is non-existent is something else. One is saying son of a barren woman is never born, never going to die. But Brahman is there in our heart, aham, 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 full time. It is param. So that causeless cause is in my heart. That's how that Swayambhu, one has to have that bhav. It can be anything. It can be Shivlinga, it can be Swayambhu Hanumanji, Swayambhu Ganpati, Swayambhu anything. Doesn't matter. Either go there with full bhav and surrender, saying, Bhagwan, I am your instrument, I am nobody, you are Karta, Dharta, Harta, everything. Or contemplate on Brahman, saying, this is Brahman, my own true nature. Aham Brahmasmi. Done. Then one has connected back and it will help a person to realize the truth. So, Paramam, Ritam, Ajam, which is unborn. Imagine our nature is that which is unborn, which is unchanging, undying, immortal we are. But identified with this one BMI, going through the cycle of birth and death, thinking that is very real, and now I want mukti from that. What is moksha? Freedom from cycle of birth and death, Swamiji. Are mukti is to realize I was never born. I am never born. I will never be born. That is mukti. There was no bandhan. There is no birth. There is no death. If that is understood, then that is mukti. That is freedom. So Vedanta doesn't say that mukti is freedom from birth and death. That's one level of mukti one can explain, no doubt. Vedanta will also say that at one level. But the crux of Vedanta is birth never happened. Of the Jiva, of the Jagat, and of the Jagadishwara also. At the moment we think Jagat is born, Jiva is born in that Jagat, the Jagadishwara is birthless. And that Jagadishwara is creating this Jagat and Jiva. That is Bahujivavad. Vedanta is saying that Jiva also is not born, Jagat also is not born, Jagadishwar also is not born. This is whole thing Mayaya Bhojayanno. It is one projection that is there. The truth is there is only unborn, one infinite consciousness. If birth only is negated, change is negated, death is negated, everything negated, then what remains is Brahman. It is not Shunya, not blank. That Brahman which is Aja. Please remember that. Aja, Ajam Brahma Yat Tan Natosmi. There can never be blank as the ultimate. There is a knower of the blank. Now the knower will always be greater than the known. If at all one says ki ultimate is Shunya. Ultimate is never Shunya. Ultimate is absence of all finite experiences. The only one truth, Ajam. Ajam literally means which is unborn, which means there was no birth also is one change. The death of the previous condition is the birth of the new condition. So birth also is a change, it is also in time, it is also of the finite, and which is why it is indicated as a jam. Ja is birth, a unborn, meaning nothing came out of it. That's why it is said, Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. It is not the cause nor the effect. So Bhagavan is not the cause, as Bhagavan is not the effect. That we understood when we say this, that when the question when somebody asks, who created God? There we say that question only is wrong because God is not an effect to be created. Then God is causeless cause. Yes, if I see the Srishti, then I will trace back the Srishti ultimately to that supreme consciousness which is not created by anyone. It is self-existent, Swayambhu. It is causeless. Cause, meaning nothing is the cause of it. But the another point Vedanta is making here is this: ajam also means it has not produced anything. Nothing is born out of it. It is unborn. It is as it is. It is also not born from anything. It also doesn't produce anything. Ajam. Please remember, when we say it is, we don't mean that some other Brahman. Aham. I am that Brahman. That is what Vedanta is telling us. Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that infinite, causeless cause which never produces anything, which never became anything, which doesn't have any cause. And it is infinite. It is my nature as happiness. So this is one meaning. Param means supreme. Amritam, Param, and then Paramam, supreme. Then Ritam, which is self-existent, which is there at all times, 3 periods of time. Ritam is 3 periods of time, and Ajam is self-existent, causeless, unborn. Now the second meaning of this is Param, Amritam, Ajam. So Param there means what? That which is the most subtlest. Param in Upanishad language also means that which is interior, inside, subtler. Indriyebhya para hyartha arthebhyascha param manah manasastu para buddhi buddhiratma mahan paraha. Kathopanishad. The sense objects are greater than the senses. Indriyabhya parahyartha, meaning what? Without the sense objects, the sense faculties will not be able to function. If the smell only is not there, how will the ghrana indriya function? There is no smell absolutely anywhere. Nothing called smell at all. If there is no form at all, what will this chakshur indriya do? So, in one context, please don't. In another context, it will be senses are the grossest, then the senses, sense organs, sense faculties, then the mind, then the buddhi. So, in one context, Upanishad is saying this. Subtler than the sense object, sense or faculties is the sense object. Indriyabhya parahyartha. Arthebhyascha param manaha. Subtler than that is the mind, because without that mind, where sankalpa, vikalpa arises for the sense object, one will not be able to engage. Subtler than the mind is intellect. Mind goes only in the realm known, in the realm of the known. Intellect goes even in the unknown realm. But all this is enlivened by what? This intellect, mind, objects, senses, this is equipment. Manasastu para buddhi, buddher atma mahan paraha. Atma is the supreme. It is paraha. So it is supreme as well as it is subtler. The subtler and the subtlest of all is called Atma here. Beyond that, there is nothing subtler. Buddhir Atma Mahan Paraha. That's why para word is there. Because till that point, there is one thing which is subtler than the previous. So from the sense object standpoint, sense faculties are grosser, but mind is subtler. From mind standpoint, sense objects are greater, buddhi is subtler. Buddhi standpoint, mind is grosser, atma is subtler. Now if somebody says atma standpoint, mind, the buddhi is grosser, what is subtler than atma? Nothing. Again it will go into causeless cause. Again it will go into infinite regress. Because if one says ki greater than Atma is so-called Paramatma, then what is greater than Paramatma? Paramatma. Array, it will go and unending. So Upanishad also says Buddher Atma Mahan. Atma is greater than this Buddhi, but it is Para, it is supreme, finished. There is nothing more than that. So Atma is subtlest of all, and it is the supreme, and that Atma is this Brahman. That's what this is saying. By indicating that word Para, when Param is given here, Param and Brahma. So Param Brahma itself means what? This Atma is that Brahman, because Para is Atma. How nice. So when somebody says Parabrahma, Parabrahma itself, by itself, that word Parabrahma is indicating Jiva Brahma Aikya, because Para is Atma and Brahma is infinite. That itself is not a Vakya, but it is a Mahashabda if we have to say. Like how we have Mahavakya. Mahavakya means that which will indicate the unity of Jiva and Brahman. Like that, Mahashabda is that which is indicating unity of Jiva and Brahman. I'm just saying from my own thinking, okay, there is no thing like Mahashabda in the Upanishad or in the Veda or in the Vedanta science. It's just a loud reflection. Mahavakya is there. It is Mahashabda, Parabrahma. Why Para is Atma? Brahma is infinite. That Atma is this Brahman. This Brahman is only appearing as so many so-called Atmas. So Parabrahma. So in this word, Param means which is Atma, which is what? Aham, 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 every single moment which is throbbing is the Atma. Yaccha apnoti yada datte yaccha ati vishayaniha yachasya santato bhavaha tasmad atmeti kirtyate. Is a beautiful definition of Linga Puran, in the Linga Puran of Atma. Yaccha apnoti yada datte yaccha ati vishayaniha. That which is going through this waking dream deep sleep state which pervades all the three states. Yachasya santato bhavaha tasmad atmeti kirtyate. So this Atma is indicated by Para. And what is the nature of that which is every moment there in our heart as aham, 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 aham? It is Amritam. It is immortal. So what is Amritam? Immortal. When we say immortal, destruction, we know anything which is finite will get destroyed. It will perish. Amritam. It is every single moment there which is going on changing. So in Vedanta, change itself is equal to death. So what is immortal? That which is changeless. Every moment which is changeless. Now you want to say every moment is limitation of language. That which is beyond time is immortal actually. Amritam is beyond time. Why? Because in time there is birth and death. Time also is born when there is mind. When mind is not there, there is no time. This is beyond mind. Meaning beyond birth, beyond death, beyond change. That is Amritam. So Param indicates innermost Atma. Pratyak Atma we call it. The innermost. Parak is outside, Pratyak is inside. So when we come from the sense faculties up to the Atma, we are withdrawing inside. And that Atma is what? Amritam. It is immortal, it is changeless, it is beyond mind. And what is the nature of that which is Amritam? It is Anantam, it is infinite happiness. Not happiness born out of sense gratification. So here, one very nice description is given of what in Vaisheshika it is said, um, four types of happinesses are there in this world, meaning temporary finite happiness. What are they? First is called Vishaya Bhoga Janya Sukha. When we contact the sense objects, the experience that we have of the senses contacting the sense object and the thrill that one gets. Suppose you drink some nice coffee. Ah, so good, tasty, very nice, strong coffee, filter coffee. Ah, very good. Vishaya Bhoga Janya Sukha. One type of sukha, sense pleasure one gets by contacting the sense objects and enjoying. Second is Abhimanajanya Sukha. What is Abhimanajanya Sukha? I am deriving happiness out of some success I have achieved. I feel proud. Swamiji, I did it. I wanted this many marks, I got it. I wanted that house, I have achieved it. So the pride one feels, that the thrill one feels, the excitement one feels. Then third is Manorajya Janya Sukha. One is only imagining, fantasizing, and in that deriving pleasure. Manorajya. Summer is coming, this is where I'm going to go, summer vacation, this, that, enjoy. Mentally already doing all imagination and enjoying it in the mind. Manorajya Janya Sukha. Fourth is Abhyasa Janya Sukha. By repetition, it can be anything. In spiritual life, we say do the abhyas of sadhana, japa, Bhagwan's Nam Smaran, Kirtan, Dhyan, all yoga abhyas, all that, right? But it can be abhyas janya sukha of anything. If every day I go for a morning walk, that consistency will bring a certain uh, joy. Abhyasa janya sukha. Swami, how is it not different from the sense object joy? See, morning walk when I'm going, I'm seeing something, getting excited, getting happy. So, Vishaya Janya Sukha, Vishaya Bhoga Janya Sukha. But every day morning when I'm going for a walk, the effect that it is creating on me because of that abhyasa consistently, that is different. That is not born of sense contact, which is just momentary. It is a long-term, so-called long-term effect where my health is good, my whatever, the weight and the heart condition and all that is good. That is this. Abhyas, by repeated practice or certain single pointedness comes consistency, intensity, all that. So in the world, the different types of happiness is one way of categorizing. All these four are finite, limited, perishable. This supreme truth is beyond all these. It is anantam. It is infinite. Because all these are at the level of mind. It is kshanik. And all of these will also finally lead to, either it can lead to some attachment or some sorrow, because they will end. Because it is mritam. Amrita is the unending bliss. So the word Amrita and Anantanand are synonymous. That's why we say Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma and Sat Chit Anand. So Ananta and Anand are same. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. The Chandogya Upanishad says, Na alpe sukham asti. In the finite there is no happiness really. Real happiness is only in the infinite. Bhuma eva sukham. So Param, Amritam, Ajam. Now we saw all the meanings. Param in this context is innermost. Amritam is unending, innermost, unending bliss, which is not created. Ajam, which is always there. It is literally like what Gurudev used to give that example, that a person is sitting on the footpath and begging, give me money, please help me. But where is he sitting? On the footpath. Below that, there is a pot of gold. He's sitting on the pot of gold, not knowing. And he's thinking, give me this, give me that. Please help me. I am so poor. We are literally like that only. In our heart is that infinite bliss. Param Ananda it is. Amrita Anand, Ananta Anand. Yet one is begging, please smile at me in this way, then I will feel loved. Please praise me, then I will feel loved. Please understand my love language. 5 love languages, 10 love languages are there. Please understand and love me in that way, then I feel happy. The Vyavahar level one may do all that, but what is the point? Vedanta is saying, Arey, your nature is Param Amritam Ajam. What are you begging in this world? This world itself is your projection. Why are you begging in your projection? One boy, he got up very upset, started crying. So the father said, what happened? He said, I dreamed that I failed in my exam. The father said, at least in that dream you could have passed. Waking state, so you don't pass in your exam, but dream also, it is your dream, you couldn't control your dream also. In dream also you are failing only. So anyway, the point is what? Our nature is that supreme, infinite bliss, param, amritam, anantam, anandam, ajam. That is our nature. And that is Brahman. I surrender to that Brahman. Ya Brahma yattan natosmi. In Vedant, when we say Brahma yattan natosmi, it is not with Dvaita Bhav. It is to surrender this individuality, to surrender this attitude that I am this Mr. So and so. Then what remains is only Brahman. The devotee and the Lord, the difference which is there, even in bhakti, if one surrenders the ego totally, then there is only para bhakti, which is oneness. Advaita Vedanta is also that. Brahma yattan natosmi. Meaning I dissolve my individuality, I drop my individuality, I am not there, I am not this at all. Just completely dropped identification. So first Mangalacharan, this is where we conclude. Next class we will take up the second one. Actually, the theme of the Upanishads is covered in these two Mangalacharans only. It's over by this. The whole Upanishad and the whole commentary, etc., is only elaboration of this in different ways. Right. So for today we stop here. Any questions? You can raise your hand.
Namaste. You said in that Maya Sankhya Turiyam, within the realm of Maya, 3 states exist: Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. Besides the 3 states, there is another state which is called Turiyam, which we are calling Turiyam. Okay?
See, that is a misunderstanding. What I meant was that if one says that waking, dream, deep sleep are 3 separate states, each exclusive of the other, then somebody thinks that fourth state is samadhi, is turiya. No, samadhi as an experience that comes and goes is not turiya. Samadhi as atma is called turiya, no doubt. But samadhi as an experience is not turiya. It is not one of the, it is within the realm of this only. It is one state of the mind only. It's just that absorbed state of mind it is. But the word turiya here is not indicating that state. It is indicating atma.
So what you mean to say is that when you are the waker, your waking ego exists, and along with it, Turiya also exists. As a sleeper, the sleeping ego exists, and Turiya also exists.
Correct. As the consciousness, Turiya exists at all times, even in the waking.
Yeah. So the real state is only Turiya. There is only one state.
Correct.
Yeah. And second thing is, 1 minute, I'm writing it down. Yeah. Now a knower is possible only when there is something to be known.
Okay.
And what is doing the knowing actually? That means Turiyam wants to know something, and therefore it goes through this whole cycle of Jagrata Avastha so that it can know something. Is that what it means?
Now, see that assumption that knower exists only when there is a known is limited, because the knower exists even if known does not exist. The identity that I am the knower and I am knowing something, that identity is not there, but the knower will still be there, no?
No, the knower will still be there, but unless the Turiyam functions through the knower cannot know.
So the knower is Turiya only. The waker, who is the knower in the waking state, is none other than Turiya identified with the BMI, has become the waker, right?
Yeah.
So if you say ki, why does the Turiya want to know something, that's why this projection is there. That question also is from Buddhi standpoint. That we are ascribing a purpose, because the Buddhi's function is to find logic, purpose, and we are thinking that this has really happened, and so now what is the cause for it? Vedanta is saying that this is a projection, it's an appearance which is there, so instead of finding the purpose of that appearance, try to inquire into what is the substratum that is appearing as this, because that if I understand, then I will understand the appearance goes away. When I see the substratum, the appearance completely disappears. So what is the point in knowing the purpose, is what Vedanta will say. But now everybody can't understand that. So then Upanishad also will give at one level a simpler explanation, saying ki, okay, it is the Leela, it is it was alone, then it wanted to become many. All that explanations are given. But the deeper meaning is, the deeper indication is this, ki it is an appearance. Then if something is an appearance, then I am not bothered about why this is appearing. I am bothered about what is appearing as this, because this is illusory. Then what is the truth? If mirage is there and the water is being seen there, I know that this is a mirage, then I will find out then what is appearing as the water. Sand. Now, why is the sand appearing as water? For me, that doesn't hold significance when I understand that there is only sand, the water was never there.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Right.
Swamiji,
हरिओम. हाँ जी.
where this Mangalacharan I am not getting in the book.
It is not there in the commentary of Gurudev. It is there in the Gita Press book. I had explained that in one of my classes. It is there in the Gita Press book, and it is also there in the folder which we shared. The the group which is there now, WhatsApp group. In that you will find that this folder is there of Mandukya Upanishad recordings. In that folder also you will find this is there. I have put up that as um, the Gita Press whole soft copy. The book is there, and Mangalacharan 2 verses also have been put up with the word to word meaning. So you will find it from there.
Okay, ji.
This is that Gita Press book, green color one cover. It has Mandukya Upanishad, and in this Mandukya Upanishad, after the beginning preface is over, this index is also there, and then you will find this is the Shanti mantra, and then this is the Mangalacharan. Agama Prakaran Mangalacharan. Prajnanam Supratanahi. You will find all this in the Google Drive folder. You can check there.
Okay.
Hariom Swamiji.
Um,
Swamiji, my question is for the Turiya state. I just want to clarify if I'm understanding this correctly. Like in the Rudra Ashtakam, we say Nirakara Omkara Moolam Turiyam. So there is no underlying substratum to Turiya. Turiya itself is the underlying substratum to all three other states.
Correct.
Okay. So when we say that, you clarified that Turium is only a state um, with regard to the other three states, but it is not a state itself. So it's beyond stateless. It is Nirakar. You cannot have a loci of point for it, right? So it is absolute consciousness.
True.
Okay. So there is so it would be incorrect of me to say that there is a substratum to Turiya itself. There
Yeah,
isn't, right?
there
Okay.
is it.
Okay.
Because if there is substratum to Turiya, then what is the substratum of that?
Yes, yes,
If
yes.
Turiya
This
is-
is what I thought all this while. That maybe Shivji is substratum to that also.
No, Shivji is Turiyam.
Thorium itself.
That's what the Rudrashtakam is saying.
Hmm.
Nirakara Kala, Nirakara Momkara Moolam
Moolam Thorium. Yeah.
Omkara Moolam Turiyam. Turiya is that
Oh.
subconsciousness which is Shiva,
Hmm.
which is then appearing as Omkar also. In the
Hmm.
Nirakar form is Omkar. The,
Thank you so much, Swamiji.
right.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskar.
Hariom Swamiji. Swamiji, Kalpana ji, as Kalpana ji just said, so when we talk about Atman, consciousness as witnesser, so when there is no world, what is it witnessing? Like a rope can never witness a snake.
That is the limitation of example because rope is Jada Vastu.
Yeah.
Here we are talking about Chaitanya. So what are you witnessing? Why should I witness anything? Witnesshood also is a superimposition, no?
Yes.
When there is
So it is for
duality,
us to
then I am
understand. Like,
seeing. Yeah, when there is nothing to witness, there is only Atma. In fact, that is the only truth. There is nothing else to witness because Atma alone is.
yes. Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay, last question for today.
Aloha, Swamiji.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously new to Advaita, everything actually. You talked about the linga, the Shiva linga, and the causeless cause. The Shiva linga is the ultimate causeless cause of the universe. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And you used the example of the son of a barren woman that doesn't exist, never born, so forth. So Brahman is non-existence. Can you? And then you said something about surrendering to it, to the Shiva linga, saying that I am your conscious, I am your instrument, and the linga is representative of my own true nature. Can you explain that?
Yes, so what I meant there is when a person goes to the linga, one sees a Swayambhu linga or in fact any other Swayambhu Murti, it can be Ganesha, it can be, form of a Devi or whatever, any Swayambhu Murti which is there. Two approaches that one can have when one goes. One is the approach of devotion where one says, I am not the doer, I am an instrument, you are the doer and I surrender to you, let thy will be done. This is the approach of devotion, where one is surrendering the ego. Approach of knowledge is where one says, Ki, I am contemplating on that causeless cause, which is Brahman, which is my true self. I am not this body, mind, intellect. I am that infinite causeless cause. And so one drops the individuality and asserts the true nature as the self, as unborn consciousness. Either of these two one can do.
So you're saying that I'm just talking about the linga. So the linga is representative of that or symbolic of that.
Yeah. Linga is symbolic of that supreme consciousness which is unborn, or Linga is symbolic of that same consciousness which is the doer, the creator, sustainer, destroyer, the ultimate doer is Bhagwan. So it is Ishvara who is doing. I am only an instrument. So with that attitude, I drop my ego. Both ways I'm dropping ego.
And this linga is a natural cause. I mean, it's not something you create.
Yeah, so that's what we say is Swayambhu, which is naturally found. And for some reason, if somebody has even created it, it doesn't matter if I have the bhavk, it is naturally there. I will connect to it through that. Now, I don't need to go into historicity whether actually so it was naturally found or somebody just, created it there.
So it's a means to
Yeah,
connect. Okay.
yeah,
Mahalo. Thank you, Swamiji.
yeah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.